Hello and welcome to Season 4 Racing League Cup F1 at Monaco. Tonight the drivers will be racing round. Apology, I'm Morgan, also known as Short 77. I do race in F1 and F2. And tonight I will be, as Hugo cannot make it. Bit disappointed from him. But tonight the drivers will be racing around the track that Nelson Piquet once described as like riding a bicycle around your living room. And this is a lot harder than it seems already, so props to Spag and Hugo there. Currently watching Scuderia Seb on his outlap. Had some bad luck with his wheel at the start of this season, but hopefully ready to potentially challenge for the title. If anyone has any complaints of what I'm doing wrong, let me know in the comments, because I am very new to this and I'm expecting to make a lot of mistakes. So coming into Raskas now, about to start his flying lap. Bit wide, but possibly gets the best run onto the main straight. Coming to the first corner, goes down to third gear. Potentially a bit of wheel spin on the exit. Coming into Casino Square. Bit of contact with the walls, he goes past Droppier. Very tight corner in first gear, up to second and then straight back down to first. So far looking a little bit messy, but knowing Seb, it's probably blisteringly fast. Coming up to another car, presumably on their outlap. Seb on the, touching the wall again, very messy. And again. But, as I said, knowing Seb, this will probably be extremely fast. Faster than what I could do. As Philip Hodgson goes fast with a 1:11 dead. But then Scuderia, Seb blows that out of the water with a 1:08.8. Sorry if I'm boring anyone, I realise how monotonous my voice has been. Well, a lot of traffic Seb's coming up on, and I assume he's aborting this lap. Let's have a look at someone else. Harry Blues now. I assume he just completed a lap. Brumadinho goes second with a 1:09.6. Foxy Dude, the legend who did a 1:17 round Australia allegedly. And of course the winner of the last F2 race in Baku. Coming out for his outlap in the Williams. And Philip, Philip, my man, about to start a flying lap. Or just complete a flying lap, a 1:13.8. Probably some room for improvement there. And he's given up on this lap, presumably to let someone else through. As we see Crazy Crumpet coming into the Casino Square. Again, this section is so tight. I remember last season having a couple incidents here in one of my first races in the league, which I'm sure some people will remember quite fondly. Oh, and he's binned it going into the tunnel. so this will not be a representative lap time. Spag is set a 1:10.8. Definitely, I'm sure that's not his true pace. Although F1 does seem to be extremely competitive, as Simsy Danger is up into second coming in on this lap. So at the moment it's sort of the usual suspects in the top three, but then we see Nika in fourth, Dropier 5th, Samu in 6th, Hairy Blue 7th, Wesley 8th, Spaghetti Chips 9, Prince Killer 10th, Philip Hogston 12th, oh, as who's just moved up, Walstrobert moves up to 5th, W. Veenstra in 13th, Parker in 14th, Philip in 15th, Foxy Dude, Crazy Crumpet and Callus having not set laps yet. There goes Scooter on his outlap again. Walstrobert on another lap, but it does... can't really tell if it's a flying lap or not. I assume this is his cool down lap. Let's see what else is going on. Foxy Dude out on the Ultra Softs, locking up into Raskas, coming back onto the main straight, DRS open, climbing through the gears, hits the wall down the straight and goes fourth. Good lap there on the Ultra Softs, very competitive. Only a second off Scooter, and I'm sure there's probably more time to find. There's now Walstrobert still on his in lap, or maybe he's going to go for another. But he was on a hyper, so his tyres are probably pretty dead by now. Yep, and he's into the pits. So, not much going on in terms of flying laps at the moment. Scooter is about to complete another one, or start another one. He goes past someone coming out the pit lane. Bit of wheel spin on the exit there into Sandibot, out of Sandibot, sorry. Going through Massenet into Casino Square, third gear, climbing through up until the very tight casino section. Really one of the hardest corners to get right. Touches the wall and goes a little bit wide through the hairpin, but it's looking alright so far. As I said, his lap before was very messy and ended up being quickest so far. So through the tunnel, one of the fastest sections of the track, one of the easiest to spin and then lock up at. Over the curves, and then going into Tabac and Louis Chiron. I'm not really sure of these names, to be honest, but we'll just go with it. Braking into Raskas. Another but I'm guessing that's probably what you need around here. And he goes even faster with a 1:08.5. Again, very messy, but it obviously works. Philip just comes to dead last, but not yet, Philip. There's still plenty of time in the session. You've still got 10 minutes left. Crazy Crumpet and Callus still not having set laps. I'm assuming this is his flying lap now. And onto the straight, very messy. I see where it puts him. And he goes up to 15th ahead of Parker and Philip. But it is all very close. No one's really streaking ahead, which was a common theme last year, but Scooter, Simsy and Bruma, well, Scooter sort of streaked ahead a little bit, but I'm sure there's plenty of pace more from Brumadinho, who looks to be on a flying lap. Pulling into the Nouvelle chicane. About to take these two fast left-hander and the fast right into the swimming pool section. Looking very smooth through there. His car looks absolutely planted, even though he is complaining about our helmets being too similar, but we won't talk about that. And he goes across the line and goes second ahead of Simsy with a 1:09.2, still some 7/10 off Scooter. Foxy Dude as well, still up there, he's in the pit still. Walstrobert on another fly-in. And Dropier up into second with that lap with a 1:08.9. For only 4/10 off Scooter on the Ultra Soft, so that could be a very close battle if they're on the same tyres. Very impressive from Dropio. Philip still last, but pushing to try and maybe make it to the top 10. Oh, and he, ooh, very close to hitting the wall there on the exit of Raskas onto the main straight. And yes, I don't think he's improved that time. Venus has only gone out on the super soft, so he probably has about a second to find if he goes onto the hypers. So that could put him way up into the that could put him up into the top 10. Crazy Crumpet set a lap into the top 10 with a 1:10.3, and it looks like he's potentially on a flyer now, coming into Raskas, trying to improve his lap, or is he going to head in? He's heading in. Samu on his out lap, I'm sure he has a lot of potential. I'm sure there's definitely more time for him to find. Nicker in 7th, only a couple tenths behind Foxy Dude, but then it sort of goes into the top 5 who are slightly further ahead. Well, Scooter ahead of even them, with Droppier in 2nd, Brumadinho in 3rd, Simsy Danger in 4th, and Walshbert in 5. So Walshbert still on his flying lap, and he's aborting because presumably someone is coming up behind him. Actually, that was Samu. Oh, no, it was that lap, so potentially didn't really need to be let past, but he wasn't to know that. Coming into swim pool section, he's hoping his tyres are nice warmed up, but there are flashing yellows. Who's gone off? Can't find anyone that's gone off in the first sector, but looks like the incident's been cleared. Great Sandoval going up the hill. There's a car ahead of him that could pose to be a problem later in the lap, as it is so hard to overtake and so hard to let people through here. Coming into the casino section. Coming into one of the slowest sections on the track, if not the slowest, with probably one of my least favourite corners in the hairpin. So hard to get right. Across a bit of wheel spin coming out into the tunnel section. Thank you, Bremer, for your suggestion. As I say, very new to this, but any tips and constructive criticism is very welcome. Philip, you'll have to ask one of the admin, because I'm not really in charge of that. Samu on his flying lap. Let's see if he's improved. And he has. He's gone up to 4th, ahead of Simsy, who is just on his out lap. A great lap from Samu there. Droppier still only set a time on the ultra softs. Scooter set another quick time, 7 tenths quicker than Droppier, so that could still. Droppier is on hypersofts, ends up going on the hypersofts. It could be very close up in the top 2. Simsy this season sort of struggling to hit the form he had at the end of last season, but hopefully tonight will change that. Spaghetti Chips potentially struggling to find his form after his past couple of races, where of course he's done very well. Championship leader. With his interesting pink helmet. So let's see, is he going for a flying lap now? Going past Nicker, who's pulled over very politely to let him through. Spag going out on the ultra softs. Potentially a different strategy for Spag than most of the field, apart from him, Veenstra, Hairy Blues, Wesley and Droppier, who are all not on the hypersofts. But it looks like he's aborted that lap. Prince Killer coming through onto the straight to try and set another lap, and he does not improve. So the top 10 at the moment are Scooter. Oh, Foxy Dude has made it up second. ahead of Droppier, but on the same tyres as Seb and 7/10 off. But the order... Oh, Simsy back up to second. Potentially trying to prove me wrong with my previous comments. Let me change up. Strange. So, the top 10 at the moment are Scuderia Seb in first with a 108.2. Simsy Danger in second, who's retired from the session, presumably not wanting to set another lap, or not sure if he crashed. Foxy Dude at the moment in third, with Droppier in fourth. Brumadinho in fifth with a 109.2. Samu in sixth with another 109.2, very close between fifth and sixth. Walsh Robert in seventh with a 109.4, sorry. Nicker in 8th with 109.8. Wesley on the Ultrasofts in P9 on a 109.9. And Crazy Crumpet in 10th with a 110 dead. Philip, there's always hope, mate. Oh, and Crazy Crumpet pretty much bins it after seeing... I'm assuming that's Wolstrebert parked up on the inside of the hairpin, presumably to let him through, and that may have put him off, and he's retired from the session, so maximum of P10 for Crazy Crumpet there. Philip out again, trying to improve. He's so a little bit down. Parker, surprising to be in the bottom few, but potentially just hasn't been able to get a good lap yet. Callis, a new driver to the league, not quite sure of his potential at the moment. Spag on his outlap, down in P13, has to improve really to have a chance of keeping his championship lead at the moment. I'm not quite sure how tight the championship is right now. I'll look at the standings. But at the moment it's still Scooter, who is only 2/10 ahead of Simsy, who was on the Ultrasoft, so that could be an interesting battle in the race. Brumadinho retires as well, with Philip Tem, who will be able to get another lap after this if he doesn't improve on this one. And does he improve? He does, with a 113 dead, but still needs to improve by 1.3 seconds to move up further. And it looks like Scooter's on another lap, coming across a Ferrari of Callis. Broomer's just messaged the chat saying Spag WTF. I'm not sure what he's referring to there, but hopefully we'll find out some more. Here's Scooter for his final flying lap. Fox Dude retiring, obviously did not improve on that lap. So yes, Simsy could overtake Spag in the championship if he outscores him by 5 points, which is looking quite possible at the moment. As here comes Spag into the chicane, and looks like he's abandoned this lap as well. Obviously revising hard for his mocks at the moment, so that may have had an impact on his pace with a lack of practice tonight. So it looks like, yep, he's pulling into the pits, and that's that for Spag. Down from 15th, it will be going to have to be a huge effort for him to try and make it up, but we've seen Spag come from the back before and get incredibly high up, but this is notoriously one of the hardest tracks to overtake at. So it looks like everyone has finished then. Philip unfortunately did not move up a place, and I'll run through the order once the session is officially over, but it looks like no one else can set a lap. And that is the end of the session. Interesting quali there, the usual suspects at the front, but missing a couple, with Spag down in 15th. So at the end of that session, the results are: first was Scuderia Set with a time of 1:08.2. Next was Simsy Danger on the ultra soft tyre with a 1:08.4. Third was Foxy Dude, who was 7/10 off the lead. Fourth, Droppier, another 7/10 off. Well, not another 7/10 off, also 7/10 off. Broomer was a second off on the Hypersofts. Samu the Pitto was also a second off, still very close between Broomer and Samu. Walstrabert was 1.1 seconds off the top. Nika 1.6 seconds, so it seems to be a gap between the top 7 and the rest of the field. And I didn't get to read the rest, but hopefully you did. So now we wait as everyone readies up and gets ready to choose their strategy for the Monaco Grand Prix of Season 4. And we are on the formation lap. As I've said before, of course the two championship rivals of last season on the front row. But like I said, this track is, as I'm sure you all know, one of the hardest to overtake at in the world, full stop. So it's going to be an interesting race to see what Spag can do from down in 15th. So we'll get to the telemetry up. So, the running order. Scuderia Seb is starting on pole with Simsy Danger, the championship rival, in second. Foxy Dude, who's been very new to league racing, he says, but he's been very competitive right from the off. Droppier, always a strong contender, up in fourth. Brumadinho, hopefully he doesn't broomer it today, in fifth. Sammy the Pitto, who only joined at the end of last season, but has shown great racecraft and the potential to be very quick. Walstrabert finishes off the top 7, who were quite far ahead the rest of the field in the Haas. Nika in 8th, Wesley in 9th, Crazy Crumpet in 10th, Prince Killer in 11th, Hairy Blues 12th, Callus 95 in 13th, W Veenstra in 14th, Spaghetti Chips, like I said, all the way down in 15th, Philip Hodgson 16th, Parker 17th, and Philip bringing up the rear. So, we're all lining up, ready for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. As looks like we can't see it, so we'll have to go from here. So the camera decides to not be over there. Here we go. And it's 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix of Season 4 in F1. It looks like a good start. Simsy makes a move on the outside, but Foxy Dude jumps him into Sandibot. And Scooter is skating away, and it looks like... Oh, and Philip gets a penalty. Big collision with Parker. It looks like on the straight that's happened, so I'm not sure what happened there, but I don't think anyone is when Philip's involved. No offence, my man. And so, at the moment, it is Scuderia Seb, Foxy Dude, Simsy Danger, Brumadinho, as everyone gets very jumped up into the hairpin. I'm following Brumadinho here as I just dropped my phone. And this potentially could be the rest of the order for the rest of the race, but considering this is F1 2018, I'm sure anything could happen. Spag down to 16th, I'm not sure what's happened there. Maybe he got caught up in the incident. Oh, he's lost his front wing, potentially hitting Veenstra. Did not quite see what happened there, but really has not gone well for Spag this race. Callus up into 14th, and the rest of the order is still pretty similar. Only position changer. Droppier's gone down 2 places behind his teammate Samu. Simsy down into 3rd. Brumadinho up into 4th. And Parker and Philip have swapped places. And Philip gets another 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's 10 seconds worth of penalties that he will either serve or will be added to his time at the end of the race. And it looks like he's serving his penalty now. So that's 5 seconds, but I think he has another 5 seconds, which if he pits again will serve later on. And Spag coming out all the way down in 16th place with fresh tyres. Well, not really much fresher than everyone else is, considering it's only lap 2, but who knows. There's always a chance of a safety car at Monaco. Bit of battling going on here. And I hate that sound, so we're going to go off Nicker and follow... Oh, and Callas retires from the session. Looks like he's crashed going into the casino section. Let's get a look from Philip's camera. Don't hit him, and we've made it past. So at the moment it looks like Scooter's pulling away from Foxy Dude, who is defending massively on Simsy Danger. No, not defending massively, he's under massive pressure. DRS has been enabled as it is lap 3 out of 39. The 2 Force Indias followed by the Haas of Walshabert going up the hill. And Nicker not too far behind in the Sauber. Callas, you've crashed my Ferrari. Hopefully I'll be finally able to race that in Canada next week. As Simsy takes an interesting line through there. But the top 3 still very close, with Bruma not too far behind, and then it's sort of a little bit of a gap to Samu and Dropier. But Samu, Dropier, Walshabert and Nicker have all bunched up, and Harry Blues gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Not sure where that would have been, because it's quite hard to corner cut. I'm assuming it's in this chicane here. Wesley up into 9th. Well, I say up into 9th, that's where he started. And he hits the wall. Looks like he's lost some front wing. Yes, he has. Lots of 3-second time penalties heading off. Oh, and he misses the chicane. Looks like... Oh, and he's hit the wall. That did look like it was possibly out of frustration. I'm not really sure what he was thinking there, but maybe it was an accident. And it will be quite a shame to just... Oh, and Dropier's dropped down to 7th. Not sure what that's about. I left that because the incident with... I missed that because of the incident with Wesley. Looks like he possibly... Yep, he's lost some front wing. So he's obviously got some damage somewhere. It looks like he's letting Nicker through just to avoid compromising both their races. At the top, still the same story, very close. Everyone within 1.2 seconds of the leader in the top 3. Bruma 2.5 seconds behind the leader, and then it's sort of a mix and mash from there. Spaghetti Chip sets the fastest laps on the ultra soft tyre, but they are fresh, but only 1 lap fresher, and they are the harder tyre, so that is impressive. But you have to bear in mind that the top 3 are currently battling very hard. Foxy defending brilliantly from Simsy, but he could get him up the inside here. It looks like a bit of a squeeze, but Simsy's going to get the DRS, but they both have DRS, so it sort of cancels itself out. Simsy really defending from... Foxy Dude really defending from Simsy Danger's, really pushing to get past, as I see Seb in the distance, just crawling away. Another yellow flag. Scooter's going to have to take this opportunity to push like hell to try and get away from the battling Williams and Ferrari behind him. And it looks like Bruma is catching them as well, as Foxy Dude is really defending for his life here. Really bunched up into the hairpin, as someone Samu, looks like Samu locks up into the hairpin. Oh, and a bit of wheel spin, so it means... Could Bruma catch up to Simsy here? There's not really enough space to make a dive, but I think it gave Foxy a little bit of breathing room, but I'm sure Simsy and Bruma will be right back on him as they battle on. Yellow flag in Sector 3, that could be Scooter. Luckily it's not the race leader. Philip, another 5-second go penalty. Philip, you need to slow down. You got the driving line. You know when to brake. That's 15 seconds worth of penalties, so he'll be serving one of those 5 seconds here, and then if he pits again he'll have to serve another one. And it's all just going wrong for Philip. He's going to really have to hope for a safety car. Parker bringing up the rest of the rear with Spag in 13th, making up 2 places. Harry Blue's 12th. Droppier down 11th after he had some front wing damage. The 2 Salvers of Nicker and Philip Hogston in 10th and 9th. Brumadinho, who was in the pits, he's just come out. I'm not sure if he had damage or that was his scheduled pit stop. I'm assuming that was scheduled if he started on the Hypersofts. Prince Killer up into 7th, Crazy Crumpet up into 6th, Walstrobert 5th, Sammy the Pitto 4th, and the top 3. Oh, and I've just missed it, but Simsy is just making a move on Foxy Dude, who is still right behind him. Spag gets a 3-second time penalty, but it looks like Simsy has finally got that move done and looks to push on to try and catch Scooter. They probably would have also realised that Bruma has pitted, trying to get the undercut, so they will be interesting to see where they come out after they pit. But of course Simsy on the ultra soft, so he can run longer, so he might be going for a 1-stop, and whereas the others may be going for 2. And no one dives into the pits just yet, but looks like Simsy's already pulling away. Samu dives into the pits on his Hypersoft tyres, very, very slow into there. Lots of 3-second time penalties going on. Looks like there's going to be a penalties are going to be a huge factor coming into this. Oh, and Samu gets his front wing replaced, obviously had some damage as well. Bruma, another time penalty. I'm not sure if that's another one. I think that may be the one I just read a minute ago, but he's coming onto the main straight now. And he's only 27 seconds behind the leader. And therefore only 25 seconds or so behind Simsy and Foxy Dude, who is rapidly dropping back from Simsy, who, as I assume, his tyres are now cooking. Simsy catching up to Scooter, who's also on the Hypersoft tyres, while Simsy is on the Ultras. Scooter, the rest of the field really is going to have to think about their strategy now, because it looks like Simsy's done the right call, as he's much faster than Scooter. As you can already see, he's really pushing and catching up into Raskas. You should have DRS on the straight. He's only 8 tenths behind, and he may be able to make a move on the next lap unless Scooter pits. Scooter may be also going for the 1-stop, but potentially was relying on pulling away in his Hypersofts, which obviously has not paid off at the moment. But Daniel Ricciardo famously won here on, what, 75% power? So it's not all about speed, it's all about track position here. Coming to the casino section, you can already see the gap down to 3 tenths as Foxy Dude has pitted. And Brumadinho has jumped him, it looks like. Yep, he's jumped him by a mile. The undercut obviously very potent round here. And it looks like he's caught up to 25.8 seconds behind the leader. Not quite sure the pit stop loss here, but it's going to be very close, as Simsy is especially with him battling, as Simsy is now really pushing him on lap 8. Walsterberg is up into 3rd, but I don't think he's pitted yet either. Stops, yep. So, drivers still stop are the top 5 currently, and Philip Hogston, who obviously have done very well to avoid any damage. Oh, and there's a contact between Scooter and Simsy. Obviously, Scooter's tyres dying and not being able to brake as late. I'm not sure. Has Simsy got any damage? I can't tell. It would be a shame if he did, but he has dropped back slightly. I can't quite tell if he has. So he's still only half a second behind, so it may have just been light contact. Luckily there's no simulation damage, or that could have been a puncture for Scooter and a red front wing for Simsy. Down to 2 tenths again. Simsy is all over Scooter. Coming down into the fastest section of the track, or the fastest corners I should say. Really great battling from these two here as they're pushing each other to the absolute limit. Simsy's going to try and potentially go for the better exit. Oh, as Scooter pulls into the pits and Simsy takes the lead. Now, it'll be interesting to see what tyres he's going on to the super soft, so it looks like he's going to try and go for the 1-stop from lap 10, which could be possible. As I said, I'm not too familiar with the strategy around here. as Walshabert pulls into the pits, and Prince Killer also. Brumadinho coming out, so let's see how far he is behind Crazy Crumpet. Not Crazy Crumpet, my bad. Scuderia, and Spaghetti Tips retires from the session probably to get on with his revision. Get on with your work, Spag. So, Bruma, it appears, is still... He's stuck behind Prince Killer at the moment, and there's a yellow flag, and that's where Spag has obviously retired from the session. I assume he was just fed up of this race. Headroo's get another 3-second time penalty. So Bruma is going to want to get past Prince Killer as fast as possible to try and catch up to Scooter, but Scooter is of course on the new Super Softs. And Brumadinho makes a great move on Prince Killer there to get through. So Brumadinho has been on the Ultra Softs for 4 laps, so they should still be the same pace, if not a bit faster than the Super Softs of Scooter, so he's going to really want to catch up here, because this is his only chance really. He's got to get ahead and push to build a gap, but I'm not sure with Scooter's pace in this race that he's going to be able to do that. Now it's going to be interesting between Seb and Simsy. Let's watch the gap as it either increases or decreases. It looks like it is decreasing, so it may be an idea for Simsy to pit sooner rather than later. Let's have a look at the penalty situation right now. So of course Philip, and Bruma did get a stop-go penalty, but he may be able to, I'm not sure how legit that is, so he may be able to appeal that. Lots of warnings. Hairy Blue's got 3 seconds. Simsy's got 3 seconds. Lots and lots and lots of penalties for all our drivers here. Scooter definitely catching up to Simsy much faster on his new Super Softs. It may be an idea for Simsy to pit, like I said, sooner rather than later. Seb sets the fastest lap of the race on the Super Softs, so Simsy must be banking on trying to stay in there until he can pit and then have the fresher tyres at the end of the race. But as we've said, track position is just so important around here. Personally, I would have, if... Well, it depends. I'm not really sure how long the Supers can last for. As my dad comments, Philip, you're still with a shout. Not quite, but... There are currently been 5 DNFs. And I think I'm not wrong in saying that Monaco has the record for the most DNFs in a race. As Simsy does come into the pits, and it looks like he's got a 5-second penalty. I'm not sure, I may have missed that. But Scooter is definitely, surely going to come out in front now. We're very close between them. As, yep, he's jumped him. Obviously the undercut working, but it looks like Simsy is staying ahead. Oh, Brumadinho's got ahead of him as well. So... But Bruma should have to pit again. So Simsy is in 3rd. Only 2.5 seconds behind Bruma, but of course on fresh Super Softs. Foxy do gets a penalty. He sort of dropped back a bit. Maybe he had some damage. So the top 3 usual suspects. Scuderia Seb in 1st. Brumadinho 4.9 seconds behind him, and Simsy Danger after serving that 5-second penalty and getting undercut by both Seb and Bruma is now 2.1 seconds behind Bruma and 7.1 seconds behind the leader. So he has got a monster task ahead of him to try and make up this pace. But at the moment, Simsy will take the lead of the championship and, as I said, restore his form at the end of the season as he touches the wall going into the swimming pool section. Coming through the chicane before Raskas. He's only 1.7 behind Bruma now, so he's going to have to really push now to try and catch him. Yes, Nick, this is Morgan himself. You really need to change your channel name, I think, in my personal opinion. But back to the racing. Simsy still catching up to Bruma, who is falling back from Seb. So let's have a look at the gap. So Simsy is caught up by 6/10 in less than a lap. And I'm going to take my jumper off. As I've just seen Foxy Dude retiring from the session. It looks like he's gone off. Yep, he's hit the wall there. So, surprising there's not yellow flags up there. I'm surprised there's not a safety car either. Prince Killer gets a penalty, and that's a real shame for Foxy Dude because he was well up there until the pit stops. So, and Simsy is right on the back of Bruma now, going onto the main straight. Has DRS on him. I don't think he's going to be able to make a move here. Or this is Simsy, so you never know. He's going to wait possibly until next lap or to a different part of the track as he's massively faster through the top of the hill. What a move. Oh, and they've touched. They have touched. Simsy, there is not enough space to overtake up that hill, and he's ruined both their races there. And Bruma hitting the wall as he goes round, and it's just all... And he's... Oh, big crash. Lots of drivers involved there. That looked like Bolshabert maybe? Yeah, Bolshabert. I'm surprised he's not out as well. Bruma is out. Samu looks like he wasn't caught up, but Bolshabert looked like he took the brunt of that hit. What a disaster. All a surprising error from our championship rival, who really just needs to finish in the top 6 or 7 to take the championship lead, but he is quite far ahead of Droppier, so maybe we'll see that. But oh, and Parker has gone off as well. There's only 10 drivers going at the moment. Fretty with some embarrassed face emojis. It is a shock to see Simsy make. So it does remind me of me in Monaco last season I should say, as Simsy comes into the pits. Now that could result in a big penalty for Simsy. Not sure how big. It would have to go to us stewards. Droppier comes into the pits as well. Prince Killer does. Nika does. Bolshabert. Samu stays out, so this could put him right up there. Yep, Samu into second, and he could be finishing the race on this set of tyres. So that incident has really shaken up the order for everyone. Hairy Blues could get back in it. If Philip, if you were still here, you'd be right back up there. Sorry about that. Crazy Crumpet coming round. Also going to make up some places as Philip Hodgson and Harry Blues are in the pits. Bolshabert is just exiting. And Samu is up into second, but he is only 9 seconds ahead of Simsy, who is on fresh Ultra Softs, but I'm not sure of if they're going to make it to the end of the race. There are still 23 laps left. So it's going to be interesting to see. And there is a safety car. I did not realise there is a safety car. So this is going to really make for an interesting race. Simsy making a frankly audacious move up the hill, which we saw it coming, and I assume we all know where that was going to end, with the tiniest bit of contact, a big spin, and then a big shunt. So, only 10 drivers left out of the original 18 that started. First, under the safety car, is Scuderia Seb in front of Samu the Pitto, who has really benefited from this safety car. This safety car's probably hindered him more than anything, but really benefiting from Brumadinho and Simsy's incident. Simsy down to third, but we're not sure about what penalty he may be facing. Nick has asked me to invite him to the session. Maybe. I'll decide in a minute. Droppier down in fourth. Oh, up to fourth, I should say. Nika, if Nick would stop messaging me, Nika is fifth. Prince Killer sixth. Seventh is Walstrabert. Crazy Crumpet is eighth. 9 is Hairy Blues, and 10 is Philip Hogston. Yes, and Fretty's saying make sure there's no rage on the chat before or make sure there's no raid anyway, but make sure you just send all reports to the stewards rather than having to fight it out in the chat. Now, Nick is really begging me to let him join the stream, but it just depends how nice he's going to be in our next race as teammates together. So, still under safety car at the moment, lights still flashing, so it looks like it's staying out for this lap. Scooter still leading, a pretty perfect race from him so far, really benefiting from this, well, not benefiting at all really, but he made the one stop from Hypersofts, which I did not think was possible. Samu in second, doing very well. Simsy, a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag. It's really going downhill. It looks like he may have had an incident under the safety car as he's getting his wing replaced, and he's going down to 10th. So this Spag may retain his championship lead for the time being, as Simsy is an absolute mare who's actually, he looks like he may come out behind Philip Hogston. Yep, he is now last out of the 10 runners. And I guess I'm going to have to invite Nick to the stream. Let's try and get this done before, knowing me, by the time I'm finished inviting Nick, it will have all kicked off again. Right, Nick has been invited to the session, so he may have a co-commentator for my first commentary session. Right, Nick has been. Let's check everything is still as it was. Yep, still under the safety car. Well, we've just resumed action. Looks like that was perfectly timed. Seb still in first. Dropier, the two Force Indias in second and third. Nika in fourth, Prince Killer in fifth, Walshabert in sixth, seventh is Crazy Crumpet, eighth is Hairy Blues, ninth Philip Hogston, and 10th, way at the back, is Simsy Danger. Luckily that safety car mean he was not far back, but he has the worst track position possibly in the world right now. Seb gets a 3-second time penalty as he has a bit of oversteer, and Nick has joined the party. Yay. Oh, cannot use voice chat with Nick, possibly due to nap types. Oh, what a shame. What a shame that is. Oh well, Nick. So, Scuderia Seb still in the lead. 1.6 seconds ahead of Samu. In third is Drop. He's only 2 tenths behind Samu in the other Force India. Nika is still within half a second of those two. Prince Killer very close as well. Walshabert also rounding off that little battle. Another battle is Crazy Crumpet leading Hairy Blues, who is closely followed by Philip Hogston. And Simsy, looks like he's pitted again onto the supers. This is very strange from our championship winner of last season. Very well, he's now 30 seconds behind Philip Hogston, so as Crazy Crumpet gets a 3-second time penalty. And Simsy has done 4 stops. That's double what anyone else has done in this race, and he's got a 3-second time penalty there as well. So, Simsy still down in 10th place. Scooter still leading. It looks like Scooter could really make some gains on the championship leaders in this race. Nick leaves the party. Oh no! Poor guy. So, Scooter is obviously still leading and... oh, he's back. Oh, for God's sake. I can hear him now. Wow. I didn't mean all the stuff I said before, I promise. Nothing. So, Samu is in second, Dropye is third, Nika is fourth, Prince Killer in fifth, and the order has stayed relatively the same since then. Simsy still 30 seconds off Philip. Unfortunately not the true Philip. Not 30 seconds off the leader, I should say. Oh, for God's sake, Nick. You don't ask so much, do you? Well, you better get it on. Right, Nick, looks like everyone can hear you now.
I know 80 viewers.
Right, how do I... What the flip? Oh, one sec. Jesus Christ. You've really had to complicate it, haven't you?
Yeah, sorry.
How do I invite you? I've got no idea what I'm doing.
Invite friends.
It doesn't come up for me. Unlucky. So Simsy sets the fastest lap on ultra softs, it looks like. Might be still on the supers, my bad. And there's the Force Indias are having a massive battle with Samu just on top at the moment, but only 2/10 ahead of Dropye. Nika is currently in fourth, right behind them, and Prince Killer and Wolstripper all within probably about 7/10 of each other to go onto the main straight, with Crazy Crumpet catching as well. Harry and also, well, Harry Blue's a little bit further back, but no reason why he can't catch up to them. Do I have to invite him?
Oh yeah.
Nick, you just complicate things.
I will commentate from the stream. So we have a blue screen. Oh wait.
Good.
As you see the PS4 emojis jumping from left to right.
Right, I've invited Brumer. Let's get back to the actual stream and not Nick's pathetic attempt at comedy.
Just press pause on the screen.
There we go. Brumer Dino has joined. Gonna have an exclusive with... It looks like he didn't Brumer. It looks like Simsy Brumered it for you. What happened?
He tried to overtake me up the hill where Scooter now is. But yeah, he just spun me around. And
Yeah, we caught it on the stream and it was... Shut up, Nick. It was very rare from our championship leader.
I didn't cry. I'm more pissed.
Alright, back to you, Mr. Mormon.
Thank you, Nick. Well, we now have Brumer as our third commentator, if he is willing to do so.
Yeah.
If someone is watching the stream in the background, so if you just turn it down, so I can hear myself, which is probably not a pleasant thing. So on Dropye, we missed it. Dropye has overtaken Samu, who is still under pressure from Nika.
Should be better now, I think.
Oh, you missed an
I think that's good. Yes, I missed an overtake, Nick. Thank you very much.
Just press pause now and you'll see the invite.
Nope, nothing.
What, it's not saying you pressing pause.
I promise there's nothing. Nika gets a 3-second time penalty.
Oh yeah,
Dropye is pulling away from Samu, and he was still under pressure from Nika, who has really surprised us, especially at I think at Brazil it was, where he ended up on the podium.
In F2, yeah. He finished, I think, second in F2.
Yeah, you were saying you did a lot of practice together.
Yeah, and last week as well in Azerbaijan he finished in P3 I think after penalties.
Apparently, you can't hear the other two. You can't hear Bruma and Nick. I'm not sure if your mics are on always allow or not.
My mic is.
So let's focus more on the race, as we are probably getting a bit more off topic than people would like. So we still have Scooter way out in the lead by 6 seconds. Dropier in second on fresher super soft tyres. Samu on the oldest tyres on the grid on old super softs, and Nika is on much fresher ultra softs, only 3/10 behind him, under a lot of pressure. Crazy Crumpet is 2.9 seconds off Nika, and Wolfsburg is only a half second behind him. Simsy has made it up into 9th, but is still 21 seconds off the lead.
I can't hear you.
He says invite him. But
To what? To the stream, to the lobby, yeah.
looks like Dropier has caught up a second in that lap to Scooter, so we could end up having a race on our hands between these two. Dropier is also up there in the championship, so could spoil Scooter's party. Samu is in third, still only just ahead of Nika, as Nick now finally joins the session.
Yes, the serious technical issues are fine.
That's what pisses me off the most. I mean, Dropjay and I have the same amount of points, and now he's getting ahead by 8.
It is.
Oh man, it's just unnecessary.
Oh, and that looks like Crazy Crumpet has had a lot of oversteer coming out of Raskas and got onto the main straight, and it looks like Wolfsburg could get the move done. Oh, possibly a little bit of contact or just wheel string from.
Don't crash.
Hopefully no crashes up here again. Hopefully, since Wolfsburg took the brunt of Brumadinho's car, he would have learned not to overtake up there. But it looks like he has made it ahead of Crazy Crumpet.
Oh, I'm in the lobby
Who
now.
crashed into me?
Wolfsburg, I didn't see how it happened. I just saw your car go flying.
Simply danger behind Philip Hoxton.
Marlon, Lord Elephant, says Bruma is really silent, almost can't hear him. Nick as well.
Alright, should be able to hear me now.
Wait. I think it should be better now.
So if it's not better, I think people are getting quite annoyed.
Yeah, it's better now.
So Scooter now. Oh, and Dropier is dropped down to 4th. Again, getting distracted and missing out on some overtakes. Typical. So Samu is in 2nd, Nika in 3rd, Dropier just behind in 4th. Not really I'm regretting not following him and not seeing what was happening to him, but Wolfsburg is just behind him now, really catching up after a pretty disastrous crash into Brumadinho, which I'm not really sure. And looks like Dropier has actually... He's ghosting. It looks like he's dropped out of the session. So that is good news for Bruma. Obviously a technical difficulty with Dropier. Yep, looks like his AI is taking over the car at the moment, which is a distraction for Crazy Crumpet, but luckily they're coming through on a straight, so should not be too distracted.
Well, Simsy Danger still chasing down Philip Hoxton.
Yep, Simsy still fighting for points in this race. I mean, as long as he finishes, he will get some, and
Nika as well is close.
he
Got a bit more ERS Nika.
he needs to make up a few more positions to overtake Spag in the championship. I can hear myself on one of your mics. Not sure who's... There we go. That's better. So Scooter's really pulled away, which is kind of unfortunate for us, really, as Dropier was catching him. So we may have missed out on a good battle there, but he's still down in 7th. Simsy looks to be catching his AI. So that will put him up into 7th. Not sure, I can't remember how many points you get for 7th, but it may be enough to put him up. So, a familiar sight of a Mercedes leading, but an unfamiliar sight of Samu and Nika in the Force India and Sauber on the podium in F1, which... Spike says he's bottled the championship, but as my dad says in the comments, it is early days. Still plenty of points to be had. And at the moment we are focusing on this race between Nika and Samu. Two drivers that have really surprised us with their pace, as they should be pretty similar on tyres at the moment. Maybe Nika will be a little bit better off than Samu, who, as I said, is on the oldest tyres.
And Wolfsburg is catching them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wolfsburg, yep, you're right, he's right up there as well. And Crazy Crumpet not too far behind, but he's also on pretty old tyres.
Well, are we allowed to say the penalties or not?
Yep, go through penalties.
Well, Samu's got no penalties, so...
Samu's got none, and I think...
And Nika's got 3, and so does Wolfsburg.
What about Scooter?
He has 1 penalty, 2 penalties.
So really, Samu's only 6 or 7 seconds behind Scooter.
Yeah,
but he is...
Time, I think.
Yeah, I don't think, unless Scooter gets a couple more penalties,
Or does a Bruma as well.
or does a Bruma.
Yeah. Oh, Simply Danger's getting close to Harry Blues.
Yep, Simsy.
I'll watch that fight. You watch the top 3.
A bit of shade coming from Bruma there, a bit of shade.
Yeah.
Well, we will watch the stewards report and we will, I'm sure, make a fair verdict.
Go for it.
Simsy up. Great move on Harry Blues. He may have had a poor race this race, but no one is denying his speed.
Why not 20 laps earlier, 10 laps earlier, like...
Well, he's close to a Crazy Crumpet, so...
He's really pushing ahead in this race, one of the fastest on the track at the moment. As Samu has just caught up slightly to Scooter on that lap. I'm not sure what's happened there, maybe just pure pace or a mistake from Scooter somewhere. Nika still in 3rd, but Wolfsburg has a little bit of oversteer following Nika. Harry Blues gets another penalty.
Well, Simsy's got 5 penalties and 1 stop and go, so...
Yeah, so it looks like... But as I've said, there are many, many penalties that it's really going to have a massive effect on the end of this race.
Yeah, some reports as well.
Dad's saying Simsy could make 2nd, but I think Samu has secured a pace up there without podiums. Who's going? Wolfsburg. No, Simsy is overtaking Crazy Crumpet. You're right, and he's going to push to try. He's only a couple seconds behind Wolfsburg.
Well, now the closest battles are... Yeah, it's nearly like a 4-car battle for P2.
Yeah, this is going to be a fascinating last few laps of the Monaco Grand Prix.
Well, Sam hasn't got any warnings for the last 20 laps, so...
The staff having after the last race of last season of how good Samu's racecraft is, and it is really showing here. With not many warnings and no penalties. And Simsy gets another penalty. Really, obviously pushing hard, but maybe pushing a bit too much. Nika still trying to make a move on Samu. But as we've said so many times, it is just the hardest track to overtake at. Only one DRS zone, of course. And that isn't really much use. So still 4 cars, and Crazy Crumpet is coming, and they are all bunching up, going through the tunnel. Scooter Seal miles ahead, but only really 6 or 7 seconds due to penalties. So this race is definitely not over yet, with what, almost six cars in a battle for second.
Oh, Simsy just done a bit of a mistake.
Yep, Simsy dropping back slightly.
Oh, yeah, he's really pushing.
Really pushing hard, obviously frustrated with what happened earlier in the race.
As if they are not here, yeah. And Crazy Crumpet is, yeah, Crazy Crumpet and Harry Blues are closing in as well. So, if anyone does a mistake, then it's going to be a bit of a carnage.
Looks like Samu has sort of pulled away slightly from Nika, but it's still only half a second. It's still all to play for, 7/10. Prince Killer gets a penalty. He's sort of not quite in this battle. Neither is Philip Hogston. So from 2nd down to 6th, or even 7th with Hairy Blues is really all to play for. But Samu could come on top, considering he has no penalties. A great drive from him, obviously really benefiting from Bruma's unfortunate crash, and benefiting from everyone pitting. So just a lot of luck for him, but also he's driven extremely well to retain this position. Lock up into Raskas, and Scooter is starting to pull away again. Obviously got back into a rhythm, and Tropier unfortunately has now been lapped, and he is out of this race. So he still will get a point from this, so he still will be ahead of Bruma in the championship. Gap's starting to... Go ahead, Nick, sorry.
They've all got the same amount of ERS, I'd say, so there's not really any chance.
Yeah, sort of Simsy has a little bit less because I think he's pushing harder, but he's starting to save it through the casino section. Gaps are starting to sort of spread out a bit now. They look a bit closer through the chicane, but maybe they are bunching up again. They were slightly larger for a second, but it looks like certain areas of the track, obviously, some drivers are quicker than others, and it all evens out in the end. Simsy just can't make it past. It looks like Crazy Crumpet has dropped back a bit, and so is Hairy Blues.
He's in 0. He's not.
Yeah, Simsy is sort of probably recognising that. I think at the moment he is getting a P1 in the championship without... I'm not sure about his penalties, how far he'll be pushed down, and also with a possible stewards inquiry coming from Bruma.
He's going to be at least
P7,
let's say. P7 with his penalties. So it's more damage limitation for him now.
Yeah, definitely. So Nika still... Samu still holding on to this lead, but not having to defend too much as there is such an intense battle going on behind him. Simsy really pushing, and it's really... I've said it's such an odd sight to see him so flustered and pushing so hard, but...
I'd say stay on Simsy to get a good view on everyone else.
Yeah, he's right in the middle of the pack. It's... Samu's has pulled slightly further away than Nika, but it's still always play for as they start to come and lap. Looks like they're lapping Dropier again. Yep.
Hopefully Dropier doesn't get in their way or put them off.
Oh, yes. Coming across an AI car is very distracting, I can tell you that.
Crazy Crumpet got damage left front. I think I jinxed it.
Yep, it looks... Yeah, I think you did jinx it.
Sorry, Crazy Crumpet. Oof, going
Simsy, making a move up onto the main straight. He's lost it. He's lost it again. Wallstrupper and Simsy coming together. Simsy losing his wing. It's just been a really bad day for Simsy.
Simsy doing his best impression of a Bruma there.
It looked like a great move. I'm not really sure who was at fault for that. We'll have to see in the stewards after the race.
It's just no space, but yeah. But now Nika's not got much pressure from behind, so
He's-
he might be able to
Yep,
concentrate
he's
forwards.
definitely pushing for the last two. There's only 2 laps left of this race. He's pulled away from Crazy Crumpet after the incident. Simsy Danger looks like he's not going to be getting first in the championship today, as far as my maths goes, but I haven't done maths in about a year
My
or
man.
6 months. Don't remind me of my maths. So, Samu defending from Nika. Nika still close behind him, doing both of these drivers doing really well in a race of massive attrition, with only 9 real runners remaining, with Dropy obviously having internet problems and limping home with his AI taking control, so we still get a point. Crazy Crumpet still holding on with, looks like he has got damage, but Hairy Blues may be catching him up. Only 4 tenths between Nika and Samu. It's going to be only 2 laps remaining, lap 38 and 39, into Casino section. Coming up into one of my least favourite sections on this game, with Scuderia Seb. Unfortunately, he's been at the front the whole time, so hasn't really got much coverage towards the end of the race, but a really dominating drive, no mistakes, apart from the odd corner cutting, but Simsy obviously having a much worse day at the office.
Yeah, still no penalties for Samu.
Prins gets another penalty. What's any warnings for Samu?
No.
And for Nika?
He's got a penalty, but
He is...
so yeah, he's got a penalty. So I don't think he's pushing for overtakes.
Yeah. Oh, he's lost a bit of front wing. Obviously, he was pushing a little bit too hard, and now it's the battle of the 2 with broken front wings.
Yeah.
So this sort of evens it out a bit.
Well, Harry's got no damage. He's very low in the RS, so.
Well, Hairy Blues could make up a couple positions here on the final lap of the race, with Scooter lapping Dropier again.
Ooh.
Hopefully he does not get distracted by the AI car. Luckily, just taking the move. He knows if he finishes now, he's got the win. Nika has dropped back from Samu. Walsterbert slowing. Looks like he's got damage as well. Overtaken by Hairy Blues.
I think he's.
Walsterbert's got damage. Yeah, definitely got damage. He's got.
Maybe, yeah. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, look, Harry's got.
All the information you are presenting to your viewers.
He definitely has wing damage. I promise you now. Yep, I did miss it as I was arguing with Nick, but Scooter,
It's a bit irrelevant.
great race from him. Samu comes across the line in second, Nika in third, Crazy Crumpet in fourth, and Hairy Blues up past Walsterbert in fifth. Walsterbert back up past Hairy Blues due to penalties. Simsy coming through in seventh, but where Hoxton is. He jumps Simsy. Prince Killer looks like he will be rounding off the grid before Dropier right at the end. So, a really dominating drive from Scuderia Seb. Very few mistakes, just had to stick out at the front, keep out of trouble. And obviously a very shocking day for Simsy.
Yeah, he has to.
Oh, 10 stops from Dropier. Jeez.
Seems he really has to step up his game. Yeah.
So as I said earlier, it looks like he's just struggled to find the form he had at the end of last season. As there we see Seb, Samu and Nika on the podium, 3 worthy podium sitters at the Monaco Grand Prix, one of the most prestigious races of the calendar. Reserves. Who was a reserve?
Nika, no?
Nika, yeah.
Nika is reserve, so we'll invite all 4 to podium interviews. Right. do you two have Samu or Nika?
Yeah, I have Nika. But I don't think I have Sam. I have to check.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I don't have Sam.
I've sent Scooter a friend request, but he has not added me back.
Oh yeah, Brumer, you're in either 3, yeah.
Yes, so...
Well, really abandoning me.
So we probably should have added these people before, so it looks like we may not be able to get all... Is anyone else friends with Scooter?
Yeah, I am...
Yep, I've invited Nika and Scooter.
I can't just go on there. Are we inviting Nico?
Spag says he can invite them. Sorry about the disorganisation of this. We aren't really that prepared. I'll invite Spag so he can invite them.
Chat and Nico, yeah? I suggested him there. Just go on the lobby and then...
have you? Yeah, I've invited Nika and Scooter.
Oh. Wait, who do you need again? Who's the other guy?
Nika has joined, and Spag is joining to invite Samu and Crazy Crumpet.
Oh, Spag in the next session. So I can't invite him.
Who do you need inviting?
Samu and Crazy Crumpet.
Samu.
Seb and Nika have joined, just waiting on 2 more drivers.
Cool, I've suggested them, so...
Invite players, view suggested players, Crazy Crumpet and Samu. So everyone is invited. So Seb, are you there?
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Is your mic on always allow?
Let me just check. Yeah, always allow.
So, Scuderia Seb 27, the winner of the Monaco Grand Prix for F1 Season 4. Tell us about it from your perspective.
Well, I knew I needed to get a pole position, so I did that. And then basically, I just knew I needed to pull out a lead from like Simsy and all that, because I knew he was going to be quick on the ultras. So I did, and then I knew I was going to be faster, because he was on worn ultras and I was on fresh super, so I know I was going to get the undercut, but then obviously Monaco's always going to throw up a safety car, so then obviously that came out, and then I believe he hit the back of Samuel.
He hit Brumer. They had a big crash.
Oh, okay. Is that well? Then he got front wing damage. I don't know what then happened. So he pit. That gave me a bit of clear air and drop J. I was in a party with him.
Oh yeah.
The whole race, and he disconnected, so
yeah,
because that would have been a good battle between us because he was on fresh.
Yeah, he was definitely catching, and we did miss out on a good battle there. But Simsy looked like he really cracked under the pressure today. And what was your?
Yeah, I don't know whether he cracked under the pressure. Just a bit of a poor race from him, but he'll be back. You know, I'm ready for any fight that he's gonna, show up. Like we had so many fights last season, so they've been. Not any different this season, but yeah, I was just taking it easy in the last 10-12 laps. I just knew I needed to bring it home. Monaco, anything can happen, so I was just like, keeping it in control, put it down into non-ERS, and then
just cruising home.
Yeah, pretty much.
So on to Samu has not joined the party, unfortunately, so we will go on to Nika. Are you there? And your mic is on always allow.
Yep.
So, a reserve for this race, but P3 overall. How do you feel about that?
I don't
race was a little bit confusing, and I don't really know what to say. I think it was okay. Like in terms of driving, I felt it was consistent and smooth. So from that part, I mean, I didn't overtake. I think I did one overtake, so it was just there.
Yeah, lots of people really benefiting from the big incident between Simsy and Brumadinho.
Yeah. So overall, okay, I qualified what 8th and finished 3rd. So that's I'm pleased with the result, but also don't know really what to say. It's half the field is gone and you're a reserve, so I really just enjoyed racing with these a lot faster guys.
But a lot of positives to take into tomorrow's race if you are attending tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm attending tomorrow, so that'll be the one that counts. And but yeah, it was a pleasure to race with these guys.
And so finally on to FLH Crazy Crumpet, who is actually an F1 an actual RLH F1 driver, so he will take up 3rd position. How was that race from your view?
Well, to be honest, I'm very ecstatic for that because I usually qualify mid to low tier in the league, and I was not expecting that result because after Simsy crashed the first time and Bruma was out, I was sort of like quite happy that Bruma crashed. I don't want to like set that in
Savage.
Yeah, but it actually helped.
Don't hold back. Go.
It like helped me so much in the
Yeah.
race. And then like as Simsy, I just let Simsy pass because I knew he was quicker than me, so I was ready to just give up that position. But then as soon as he crashed out with Wolfschaber, I just pushed as hard as I could and got as far as I could.
Yeah, as I said, lots of people really benefiting from Bruma's incident with Simsy. It was a shame we couldn't get Samu in because he benefited the most really, and he had an amazing, extremely clean race. But a really well-deserved podium from all 4 of you. And I don't really have much else to say unless Nick and Bruma or anyone else does.
No.
Can I just say something?
Of course you can.
No.
Spav always has something to say.
I always do, and obviously this time it's on a negative note. That I'm sorry to everyone. I had a disastrous race, and hopefully it won't happen again. That's all I've got to say.
We all make mistakes, Spag, don't worry. But all in all, I think it was a...
No practice in Monaco.
Yes, we knew you were revising, so you are excused for this one.
I legit had no practice for this. Like, I'm not even bullshitting. I literally was moving house, and I had no practice. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Well, I think that's it from me. Thank you to Nick and Bruma for joining me late on. That was my first commentary.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So maybe this will happen again in the future, but I should be at most of the F1 and F2 races for the rest of the season. So thanks for watching, and I guess that's it.
Cheers. Yeet.